What if the very definition of being human is changing at this very moment? What if aging, forgetting, and growing frail could one day be a matter of choice? The technology to edit human genes has now become reality. Experiments directly linking the brain to computers are being conducted on living human beings. AI-enhanced intelligence, cellular repair through nanomachines. These are not science fiction. This is the cutting edge of science. But here's where I want to pause and consider. Is this humanity's evolution or humanity's end? Can liberation from biological destiny truly coexist with remaining human? Today, let's explore the philosophy of transhumanism and the frontier of human enhancement through technology. By the time this video ends, you'll find yourself holding different questions about what it means to be human. Chapter 1. Biology as prison, or as gift. Why do humans die? Most of us pondered this question at least once as children. It seems obvious, yet from a biological perspective, death is not inevitable. Single-celled organisms can persist indefinitely as lineages through division. This is fundamentally different in nature from how multicellular individuals age and die. So why are complex life forms like us designed to age and die? One crucial clue modern science has uncovered is the, quote, telomere. It's a protective structure at the end of chromosomes that shortens slightly each time a cell divides. When it falls below a certain length, the cell stops proliferating, and this can trigger cellular senescence. However, the aging of the entire organism cannot be explained by telomere shortening alone. Genomic instability, declining mitochondrial function, loss of protein homeostasis. Scientists have now identified as many as 12 hallmarks of aging, revealing aging to be a phenomenon shaped by the interplay of multiple factors. And there's more. We inherit genes from our parents. Predisposition to disease, risk of specific mental illnesses, tendencies in lifespan. These are settings we never chose. Some call this biological destiny. And here's where a crucial question emerges. If technology could change these settings, would that be liberation? Or would it mean losing the very basis of what makes us human? Is aging and illness merely a bug, or are they part of what it means to be human? Before we face that question, we need to see just how far this technology has come. But before we enter the realm of technology, there's one more thing we must understand. The most important question in today's exploration may not be, can we, but should we? Now, let's look at how far current technology is pushing past the walls of biology. Chapter 2. When we become the architects of body and mind. In 2018, the world was shocked. A Chinese scientist announced the birth of 3 gene-edited babies, including twins, targeting a gene called CCR5, believed to confer resistance to HIV. Yet the medical necessity, safety, and ethical consent of the procedure were all met with profound condemnation. The scientific community condemned it immediately. Ethics committees were outraged. The scientist was criminally prosecuted, but everyone knew that door had already been opened. CRISPR is a technology that can cut and paste specific locations in DNA. Since the foundational technique was established in 2012, methods expanding its precision and scope, such as base editing in 2016 and prime editing in 2019, have emerged in stages. And in 2023 to 2024, CRISPR gene editing therapies were approved in the UK and US for conditions including sickle cell disease. Editing had finally moved from the laboratory to the treatment floor. Yet approval does not mean omnipotence. Today's applications focus on serious disease, and long-term safety verification still lies ahead. Intervening in aging is even more complex. We now know that attempting to suppress specific processes involved in aging can introduce other trade-offs, including increased cancer risk. Meanwhile, the development of brain-machine interfaces that directly connect the brain to machines is also accelerating. Clinical research groups like BrainGate have accumulated human research since the 2000s, and companies like Synchron have been advancing development through multiple approaches. Then, in 2024, a patient implanted with a Neuralink device succeeded in playing chess and video games using thought alone. But the challenges in this field don't end at "it worked." Long-term electrode stability, infection risk, device updates and cybersecurity, and the privacy of brain data. Questions on both medical and societal fronts are already stacking up. Gene editing, brain-machine interfaces, and AI, technologies like AlphaFold are decoding the molecular architecture of life, and combined with gene editing, the speed at which biological design can be deciphered is advancing exponentially. In the late 1990s, Nick Bostrom and others foresaw this trajectory early, establishing the international theoretical foundation of transhumanism, the philosophy that technology should be used to expand human capabilities beyond biological limits. Let's think about what this means. Altering design before birth through gene editing, expanding capability during life through brain-machine interfaces, transforming intelligence itself through integration with AI. This is the map of the future transhumanists envision. Aging is a disease, and death is a problem to be solved, they say. But the conversation about technology itself runs into a wall here. The abyss called ethics, lying between can and should. Now let's peer into that abyss. From here, we step into the most fundamental question of all. What is it to be human? Chapter 3. The Dawn of the Posthuman, or the Twilight of Humanity. When we talk about technology, we tend to forget something. What we're truly asking is not what can we do, but what is a human being? The critics of transhumanism say this: aging, death, and limitation give humans humility, generate empathy for others, and are the source of art, philosophy, and love. Because we are finite, time holds value. Because we can lose things, we cherish them. And there's a deeper problem still: the question of who gets access to this technology. If cognitive enhancement and life extension become privileges only the wealthy can afford, humanity will enter an era of fundamental inequality that has never existed before, a divide between enhanced humans and everyone else. Political philosopher Francis Fukuyama criticized transhumanism in his writings as a, quote, dangerous idea, because democracy rests on the premise that, quote, human beings are equal at their core. It becomes impossible to say that biologically enhanced humans and unenhanced humans are equal. On the other hand, transhumanists answer this way. Every medical technology was expensive at first and eventually became widespread. Eyeglasses, vaccines, antibiotics. Human enhancement technology will follow the same path, they say. Which is right, I can't say with certainty. But one thing is certain: this technology keeps chasing can without adequately debating should. For a long time, we entrusted the evolution of humanity to nature. Over tens of thousands of years, our environment shaped who we are. But now, for the first time, we are trying to become the architects of our own evolution. This fundamentally raises questions unlike anything that came before. Natural evolution had no intention, but technological evolution always has intention. Someone will end up deciding what kind of human we should become. That someone, is it the market, the state, scientists, or each one of us? And what I feel most deeply is this: human beings don't fully know themselves. What is consciousness? What is the source of emotion? What is happiness? Without being able to answer these questions, we are trying to improve the human being. We are trying to rewrite the blueprint without understanding it. And so we face a new question. Let's think about what this exploration has revealed. Chapter 4. Truths we must reconsider. Today, we venture deep into transhumanism and human enhancement through technology. Gene editing, brain-machine interfaces, AI integration. These are no longer thought experiments. They are a reality unfolding in laboratories at this very moment. And we live in an era where we can no longer avoid this question. Here are 3 truths we must reconsider, drawn from today's exploration. First, whether we see aging and death as problems to be solved, or part of what it means to be human, is not merely a difference in values. The answer to that question determines, at the most fundamental level, what technologies we develop and what kind of society we build. Science increases what can be done, but should it be done is something we must keep asking ourselves. Second, when human enhancement through technology becomes reality, the greatest risk is not the failure of technology, but its unequal success. What logic will govern a society where enhanced and unenhanced humans coexist? We have not yet answered that question. Third, we still don't understand what consciousness is, or what happiness is. To improve the human being without that understanding is equivalent to rewriting a map without knowing the destination. The gap that emerges between the acceleration of technology and the deepening of self-understanding may be the greatest danger of all. All three of these truths point in the same direction. The questions of technology are always the questions of humanity. Through today's exploration, I found myself realizing something anew. More than whether to support transhumanism, what is being asked of humanity right now is the act of taking these questions seriously. Technology will not wait for us. That is precisely why philosophy must catch up. These questions are not about some distant future. CRISPR therapies have already been approved, and a patient has appeared who plays games with thought alone. Our generation will be the one to shape the answers to these questions. I want to ask you, if you could use technology to expand your own intelligence or lifespan, would you choose it? And how far can that choice still be called your own decision? And if humanity were to completely transcend biology, if we still called that existence human, what would that word be trying to protect? I don't yet have answers to these questions myself, but I won't stop asking them. That, I believe, is how this exploration continues. After this video ends and you return to everyday life, I want you to notice something, just a little. The next time you feel your own limitations, when you're exhausted, when you encounter the aging of someone you love, ask yourself, even for just a moment, is that something to be lost, or part of what should be? That momentary question is what roots today's exploration in daily life. No one yet holds the answer. That is precisely why it matters that each one of us keeps thinking. Your continued questioning is the force that allows philosophy to catch up with technology. Share your insights in the comments. Your questions are the force that drives this channel forward. I'm grateful you stayed with this intellectual journey all the way to the end today. On this channel, where we question the future of humanity, we continue to explore themes at the very foundation of our existence: space, consciousness, evolution, AI, from both scientific and philosophical perspectives. Subscribe and turn on notifications, and you won't miss the next intellectual adventure. We can continue this journey of exploration together. Your intellectual curiosity is what moves Mindshift. Until next time.